I'm filming in front of my balcony window, which is not covered in snow, but has a light dusting of snow all over it. It is currently less than 0 degrees Fahrenheit. As someone who struggles greatly with perfectionism and has all my life, it's really difficult for me to just film a video and put it out on the internet because it's there forever, presumably. You should assume every time that you upload something onto the internet or send a pic or tweet something or anything like that, that it's going to be saved on the internet in some way, shape, or form forever. That's just the safe thing to do, but there's also a duplicate side to that, which is that whatever I put out onto the internet, whatever I create and decide to post online, I don't have to keep that as part of my image forever, which is something I really struggle with. There's this sense of wanting to have my own continuity within my content when that just isn't possible and I'm constantly changing and developing as a person. Can you even see my eyes right now? Who knows? Glasses glare. It's incredible. I don't believe in cringe culture as we make fun of someone or we think it's cringe that someone is enjoying themselves or has different tastes than we do. I do think it's reasonable to internally cringe at your own past self because no one likes to look at a less developed, less perfected self, or even a self that reflects them in this moment less. So without any further rambling, hi, my name is Kai. I used to make internet videos quite regularly. Now I stream quite regularly, but to a much smaller audience. Several years ago, I think it was 5 years ago, I made a video to myself. This was inspired by other YouTubers who have since gone on to either drop off of YouTube completely or have responded to themselves. Before I start this video, I think the most interesting part is going to be just how far I've come, because I remember that in this video, I was in such a different place in my life, such a completely different place. Enough with the rambling, let's just start the video. This is a letter to my future self. The idea is that I will be opening this in 2020. That's a weird thing to think about. That is a weird thing to think about. It is presently 2021. What can I say? There was a global pandemic. I thought about making this video last year and I just didn't, and I'm fine with that. Moving on. Dear future me, today is the last day of July of 2015. Okay, so this was 2015. I wasn't sure if this was 2016 because that was when I graduated and I knew I remembered talking about trying to find jobs before graduation and stuff. So this would have been, I don't know if I'm going to tell me this immediately after this, but this would have been prior to my senior year of college. In less than a month, I'll be heading back to school to finish up our senior year, and then I'll be graduating, which is exciting, but doesn't really seem real yet, to be honest. Graduation was such a non-thing. I didn't even feel like walking, but I did because my parents came and they wanted to see me do that. We had Seth Meyers come and speak at our graduation because he is an alumnus of Northwestern University, which is where I went. So graduation was like kind of interesting. It was mostly the temperature was really high. I sweat underneath that graduation gown. Do I regret going? No. Would I have regret not going? Shrug. But I'm going to start my senior year off right by doing something that I never ever would have thought. If past me had written a letter to future me, there's no way past me would have ever thought that I would join Drumline. I still have trouble believing it, and it's in less than a month. I'm going to be playing cymbals, and it's going to be awesome. So I did that. I did join Drumline after 7-ish years of doing color guard, and after many years of doing competitive dance. So, coming from someone who had learned to play the violin, the flute for a year, taught myself guitar, never played a percussion instrument out of sight of like elementary school. I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. I had marched the prior 3 years with the same band, so it's not as if I didn't know that aspect of things, but the drumline kind of went above and beyond that. They had a whole extra week of band camp before everyone else, and it was such a fantastic experience, honestly. Drumline was such a light in my life that fall. I honestly considered them to be like the closest friend and family group I had at that point in time, which isn't to say much because a lot of them were cis dudes who did drugs. Not to say that that's a bad thing, but that was kind of their personality. That was kind of their hobby. Outside of drumming and listening to trap music, it was that. So I also hit it off quite a bit with the freshmen that year because I was also a newbie, even though I was a senior. So that was fun. Good time. Definitely a good decision not to continue with color guard that year for my physical health as well as other reasons. Well, I don't think it has any place in my life at this point. Looking back, it was a fantastic decision and a fantastic experience, so I'm really glad I did that. What would you change about me? I know I look back on pictures from my freshman year of college, and I'm just like, that was not a good hairstyle, the clothing, whatever. So I'm sure there are things that you would want to change about me. There are things I want to change about me. I guess I'm asking myself if there's anything physically I would change. And I mean, yeah, clearly, like, the hair could use some work. You can tell there's like hair sticking out on this side, which there continues to be. I am wearing a hat for a reason, other than it's below 0 Fahrenheit right now. The glasses, I don't think were the best decision. I still hadn't discovered the magic of online glasses shopping, so I really struggled to find glasses that were wide enough for my head. And you can tell that, I think, from watching these videos. They were very tight on my face. And also, I just don't think the shape or the color really suited me. But other than that, I don't think anything in particular has changed. Let's talk about you. It's 2020, right? Is your vision 2020? Oh my goodness. Okay, there is and was a global pandemic happening, which I don't think anyone foresaw. I mean, it's not been great. 2020, I was fortunate enough to be able to keep my position, although how fortunate I truly am in that is only financially because it's mentally and emotionally killing me, and I'm desperately looking for a different one. I'm not even working full time at that, so my finances have definitely been impacted. It's kind of hilarious how like bright and smiley I am in this video talking about it because it's just... Where are you right now? I mean, you're probably watching this on a computer, I'm guessing. Maybe you're even filming yourself watching it. Maybe you're filming it for another YouTube video. Probably. If you're still on YouTube, you're definitely gonna do this video. Yeah, I don't know if I would consider myself on YouTube anymore. It's an idea. I would love to do more of it. My paid work is draining me as much as it possibly can, so as to where I am, in this video, I was filming in my parents' basement, which is where I spent the 2-ish years after college as well, until I moved into an apartment with some friends, and now I have my own apartment, so there's that. That's pretty nice. Not being in a completely toxic household would recommend. Speaking of which, do you have a boyfriend? Or a person friend? Or multiple? Date mate? Do you go on dates? At school, there's a pretty small pool to choose from in general, and then when you count in gender stuff, and sexuality stuff, and romantic stuff, it's just all a big mess, and no one has time for dating on our campus anyway, so yeah. So yes, the answer to that is I'm very happily partnered. I do have a boyfriend. I didn't date at that point in time, and it's not as though I regret that exactly. I would have liked to get more experience with relationships earlier on, and I think that would have prevented me from making some mistakes in the future after having been single and for the most part friendless for several years as I attended college. I had acquaintances and stuff, but the closer relationships were not there, and I think I could have learned more earlier on that would have prevented me from making some mistakes, but we're here now, so yeah, I have a lovely boyfriend who I foresee a long and happy relationship with, so that's great. You graduated a while ago, of course. I mean, I'm set to graduate at the end of the year, but I hope you're still somewhat in contact with people you know from college, like people from Blast, your dance group, or NUM, your marching band, or people in your major, people you took all your classes with. Maybe you're not going to stay in contact with them. I guess we'll see. Yeah, no, we didn't stay in contact, pretty much at all. I'm still friends with everyone on social media, and occasionally when I share a post, some people will see it, and some people will like it. But, there was one person in my major who I was the closest with, and we talk maybe once or twice a year just to catch up, see how each other's lives are going, but not really anything much deeper than that. It's not like I'm really close with any of these people because it's not like I really was close with any of these people, so. Oh well. No drive. I also hope you're still dancing and or doing color guard in some form. Or some marching band? Is that a thing adults can do? Back in my competitive dance days, I never ever would have guessed that I would quit, do musicals, and then get roped into doing color guard, mostly because I didn't know what color guard was or that it existed, and I never ever would have thought that I would join a ballroom dance team in college and learn swing and salsa and all that stuff, especially as a lead. Like, that is just fantastic, and I never would have dreamed that that would happen. So I hope you continue with that. I would say I have definitely kept up dancing, and I'm really happy with that. Not in a performance aspect so much because of the pandemic, but I've definitely found an outlet and a group to learn a very different styles of dances than I ever would have considered, but it's stuff that makes me happy. I've taken a shot at choreographing my own routines that I've done with different groups. I've always just enjoyed being a performer, so that's part of why I stay on YouTube. And I hope you like your job. First off, I hope you have a job. I guess that sort of depends on me these next few months. Note to self, find future you a job. Note to self, you tried. You tried real hard. You tried across the country. You tried hundreds of job applications over the course of the better part of 2 years. So I do have a job now. I enjoy my job, the parts of my job which are my job. I don't enjoy the company, and I detest my boss and how I'm being treated. So, I've gained a lot of experience, which is great. I'm really hoping to put that into use in a better group, but it's hard. It's real tough. I want to talk about you as a person. Are you happy? Like, really, truly happy? I am, sometimes. Some days, there are some points when there's like, instead of working my way through the stormy waves of our life, I just feel like I'm gliding on top of the waves. And it's a good feeling. It feels like I'm on top of things. It feels like I'm not constantly struggling. And it's really good. And those times are few and far between. Like, it's not as bad as it was, but it's still pretty bad sometimes. And I hope it keeps getting better. I hope that the majority of the time is good. Oh man, I remember that feeling. I remember how it felt to have most of my days fighting to stay afloat, and then occasionally having the really good mental health day when I was just gliding over the surface of the sea. I don't feel that so much anymore. I don't feel a struggle. I've just gotten a lot better. I think my mental health has just gotten a lot better. There's definitely the occasional day when I feel like I'm struggling, which is usually due to external circumstances that I can't really control. Obviously, with the state of the world, that doesn't help. With the state of my job, that doesn't help. But on the whole, yeah, internally, I'm really pretty happy. And I think part of that is due to the much better place I am in life with my relationships and the stability that I have now, despite everything. It feels like within myself, I have the capacity to always be above the waves, and it's only external things that are dragging me down. which is not the case of what it used to be. It definitely was like my own mental health that I was fighting against, so definitely a much better experience. Same goes for physical health stuff too. Like, there isn't a cure for whatever it is we have, but I hope you find a way to like get it under control so that it's not an issue, it's something you don't have to worry about. Yeah, I guess I forgot at this point I didn't have a name for my chronic illness, which is dysautonomia, and it wasn't until a little over a year from this video when I actually went to Mayo Clinic and saw a specialist and kind of tried to convince him that I was as sick as I said, even though he very much tried to tell me that I wasn't, even despite the testing. We do have a medication now that helps significantly with not just feeling like I'm going to pass out and have all the blood drain from my head whenever I stand up, or randomly when I'm walking, or in the grocery store, or. So yes, I would say the mix of medications that we found help significantly. I am physically in much a better place than I was when I was unmedicated. That said, I'm still sick. It's something I struggled with for a while as I was kind of grieving the loss of my previous health, but it's something that I've definitely come to terms with. It's just a part of who I am. It's not something other people always realize or remember, so that's often the issue. It's just something I always have to keep in mind, which is part of being disabled. Also, congrats on making it through 25 years of life. Like, holy cow. If I had filmed this exactly 5 years from when I filmed that video, I would be 26 right now, which I am. So I don't know why I said 25 there. I think I was just thinking like 5 years from, I don't know. I mean, I did make it through 25 years of life, so that's pretty cool, but I am much closer to 27 now than I am to 25, so it's not nearly the like, ooh, big accomplishment that it was. The idea of you is what keeps me going sometimes when things right now seem really bad. When the present is too much, too stressful, too awful, I just think in the future it's gonna be better. It's gotta be better. I am positive. So even if things still get bad sometimes, just remember, like, even when you're at your lowest point, it can only go up from there. That's, wow, I was so depressed. I was so stressed and depressed and had anxiety and just, ooh, boy, that feels weird to look back on how much I was depressed. I'm glad that's better, I guess. I don't really reflect on that far ago for me, what my mental health was like, so I'm glad it's better. I look forward to it. Sincerely, love, Kai from 2015. Wow. That's how it ended. I guess that makes for a good video. Good job, me. I'm glad that I'm in a much better place than I was. I'm a little disappointed that YouTube developed in the way that it did, to become so much less welcoming for so many people. I wish sometimes that I had the sort of community that I did on YouTube at that point. Not that my numbers have gone down, obviously my subscriber count keeps rising, but the actual amount of interaction that I have with people has decreased significantly, and that's in part obviously due to the fact that I don't upload regularly. I don't know, I thought I could replicate that on Twitch to some level, and I think I'm probably just really bad at letting people know that I am on Twitch, and I'm regularly streaming there, so hey, maybe it's just something I need to work harder at if that's something I really want to do. Yeah, wow, I genuinely hadn't watched that video in 5 years, and I feel like I'm going to be doing some serious reflecting as I go through this. So yeah, I feel like this video is probably more for me than for anyone else, but if you enjoyed watching, that's good. Please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you want me to make more content. I can't promise anything. You never know what the future will hold, clearly. Yeah, like, subscribe, follow me on Twitch, and I will see you in the next one. But yeah, I graduated 5 years ago from this year, so that's my neighbors. How gay. Being gay up in the stream. There needs to be a gay command for my... Ooh! Ooh! I was distracted by the gay. I almost died there.